What about communication with relationships, right? Like, let's say romantic partners, spouses, family. There are so many times where we feel underconfident and we're unable to speak and ask for what it is that we think we deserve. How should one find that confidence?
Wow, I love this question so much because I think we all have encountered this. It's a universal feeling that all of
Yes.
us have felt. There's two things. So the first thing is something that I go through when I want to set a boundary with someone, family, friend, whoever it may be, even if they're the closest person to me. And it's something that I call the trust triangle. And it is based on three things. And it is, working through this triangle that allows me to identify whether this conversation that I'm about to have is worth it or not. So the first is cost, right? What is having this conversation going to cost me? And what I mean by that...
Sorry to interrupt, but you're basically analyzing whether this confrontation is worth it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like the 3-step process
Okay.
to get you to feel confident enough to actually have the conversation.
Okay.
Right? So the first being cost, which is what is this going to cost me? And I think that a lot of us think, oh my God, if I have this conversation, I'm going to lose this relationship. Not the case. Realistically, what are you going to lose? What is going to be the cost of this? And then on the flip side, if I don't speak up, what will this cost me? And when you don't speak up, usually what you'll realize is the cost of that is, less self-confidence, less self-belief, less self-love. And so when you're not speaking up, you lose more of yourself. And I think that kind of outweighs and makes you realize, okay, the cost is totally, kind of worth it. The second of the triangle is clarity and understanding what exactly it is, the message that you want to get across to that person and how I'm going to show up, right? So what am I going to have to say? What is the action that I'm going to have to take to make sure that this whole situation is clarified for both people involved? And I think then when it comes to that particular part is where we all struggle. It's because we have all these feelings like built up inside and we're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to say it. I don't know what to say.
Exactly.
Keep it really, really simple. And the thing I use for that is the we feel. So it's the you feel. So you start off with I feel XYZ. Then it goes on to you may feel XYZ. And then the last is we must do this to actually clarify our situation. How many times have you had a, disagreement with your partner, right? And you're like, oh my God, I'm so angry at him and I just want to scream and shout at him. I felt that all the time. But instead of that, I say, you know what? I felt that XYZ. And then I'll say, you may feel XYZ. And then I'll say, we should do XYZ. What do you think? And that's more of a constructive, more of a response rather than a reaction.
So I just do the first part of it.
Nice. I feel.
Which is instead of saying that you make me feel terrible or you made me feel like you made me wait so long. You didn't call me back.
Yeah.
You were too busy. I say, I felt neglected because you didn't call me back. And it always just instantly kind of changes it up. But I'm gonna try step 2 and step 3 as well.
Yeah.
I just do step 1 and then leave it at that.
But that's so good because at least that's not a reaction. It's still a response. Yeah. And there's a huge difference between a reaction and response. Yeah. And out of a reaction, we get negative kind of outcomes.
And honestly, Nimi, like life has taught me, and I don't know why it's not taught so many other people, but it's pretty obvious that when you attack someone with communication, it never works out.
For anybody involved.
Yeah. There is nothing good that comes out of it. When you say that, oh, you never have time for me.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere.
No.
Right? Versus when you say that, can we please talk about this? I've been feeling a certain way. I've been feeling so and so. Or, with a friend, like I've been feeling disconnected. Or the conversation needs to be, can we try and spend more time together?
Exactly.
Right?
That.
Versus I feel like when you're attacking someone, it never leads to anything productive.
It never. And your intention might be to fix things, but it never comes across that way.
Yeah, but that's because you're hurt and you're angry.
Yeah. And I think that then that's worth saying, that don't speak when you're still in your reactive mode.
Yeah.
You know, take time to pause, take time to have a moment to yourself. If you truly value this relationship, give it that space to then be able to speak to them in a positive, when you're in a positive mode, to be able to break it down like that.